Evaluate f of x equals 2x minus 7 when x equals 4 and x equals negative 4. To evaluate the function when x equals 4, begin by writing the equation. Then substitute 4 for x. 2 times 4 is 8, and 8 minus 7 is 1. So when x equals 4, f of x equals 1. To evaluate the function when x equals negative 4, again begin by writing the equation. Then substitute negative 4 for x. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, and negative 8 minus 7 is negative 15. So when x equals negative 4, f of x equals negative 15. Let f of t be the outside temperature in degrees Fahrenheit, t hours after 10 a.m. Explain the meaning of each statement. Part A. F of 0 equals 75. This statement means when t equals 0, f of t equals 75. So in this situation, the temperature at 10 a.m. is 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Part B. F of 3 equals n. This statement means when t equals 3, f of t equals n. So in this situation, the temperature at 1 p.m., which is 3 hours after 10 a.m., is n degrees Fahrenheit. Part C. F of 1 is greater than f of 8. This statement means that the output of f when t equals 1 is greater than the output of f when t equals 8. So in this situation, the temperature at 11 a.m., which is 1 hour after 10 a.m., is greater than the temperature at 6 p.m., which is 8 hours after 10 a.m. For g of x equals 1/3 x minus 2, find the value of x for which g of x equals negative 4. First you want to write the equation. Then substitute negative 4 for g of x, and solve for x. To solve for x, you first want to add 2 to each side of the equation, which gives negative 2 equals 1/3 x. Next you want to multiply each side of the equation by 3, which simplifies to negative 6 equals x. So when x equals negative 6, g of x equals negative 4. Graph f of x equals 3 minus x. First you want to make an input-output table to find ordered pairs. To find the value of f of x when x equals 0, first substitute 0 for x in the function. 3 minus 0 equals 3, so f of 0 equals 3. So when x equals 0, f of x equals 3. To find the value of f of x when x equals 1, substitute 1 for x in the function. 3 minus 1 equals 2, so f of 1 equals 2. So when x equals 1, f of x equals 2. To find the value of f of x when x equals 2, substitute 2 for x in the function. 3 minus 2 is 1, so f of 2 equals 1. So when x equals 2, f of x equals 1. To find the value of f of x when x equals 3, substitute 3 for x in the function. 3 minus 3 equals 0, so f of 3 equals 0. So when x equals 3, f of x equals 0. To graph the function, you want to plot the ordered pairs 0, 3, 1, 2, 2, 1, and 3, 0. Then draw a line through the points. The graph represents the number of miles a helicopter is from its destination after x hours on its first flight. The function f of x equals 300 minus 75x represents the second flight, where f of x is the number of miles the helicopter is from its destination after x hours. Which flight takes less time? Explain. To solve this problem, you want to graph the function f of x equals 300 minus 75x. To do this, first make a table of values. To find the value of f of x when x equals 0, substitute 0 for x. Doing so, you find that when x equals 0, f of x equals 300. Similarly, you find that when x equals 1, f of x equals 225. When x equals 2, f of x equals 150. And when x equals 3, f of x equals 75. So to graph the function, you want to plot the points 0, 300, 1, 225, 2, 150, and 3, 75. Then draw a line through the points. From the graph of the first flight, you can see that when f of x equals 0, x equals 3. And from the graph of the second flight, you can see that when f of x equals 0, x is greater than 3. So the first flight takes less time. To check your answer, substitute 0 for f of x in f of x equals 300 minus 75x. Then solve for x. To solve for x, you want to subtract 300 from each side of the equation, leaving you with negative 300 equals negative 75x. Next, you want to divide each side of the equation by negative 75, leaving you with 4 equals x. And because 4 is greater than 3, the first flight takes less time.